Well. It is morning, it is afternoon, whatever season we are in. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the I Am My Story talk show. I am really, really excited to bring on our authors from the book Hope, A Journey to Triumph. And I'd like to welcome you to the show. We've been on my company, Life Changes Consulting, has been on a journey of empowering individuals to share their stories. And over the past year, I've been working with these beautiful, wonderful ladies, really helping them to really share their stories and to really share their stories of triumph and hope. And so our cancer project, I know some of our authors are just trying to get settled and everything. So give us a minute. I think someone else dropped off. Tammy dropped off. Okay. Yes. So we're going to move along, and then our authors will join us tonight. So we are tonight we are launching our book, Hope: A Journey to Triumph. And in launching that book, we've been sharing the stories of 20 authors. Okay, 1 second. Let me just put. Can you mute your phones, please, ladies? Because we are live, and I guess we're having some technical difficulties. But we're all here launching the book, Hope: A Journey to Triumph. And as we launch the book, Hope: A Journey to Triumph, it's a diversity of stories of authors who've been impacted directly and indirectly from cancer. And tonight, our goal is to at least interview at least 6 authors from this book. And I'm so excited that our authors are on here tonight. They're going to share their stories with you. They're going to talk about exactly what hope means to them. And also, they're going to, in this season of this pandemic, they're going to share their wisdom of how to push through any storm or adversity that they might be facing. So I want to welcome you, ladies. I want to thank you for coming here. And to start our evening, we're going to talk to Maggie Gardner. This book is also a fundraiser for Gardner's House. And so Maggie is the founder of Gardner's House, and she's going to share a little bit about what is Gardner's House and why we should support Gardner's House on this journey. So Maggie?
Thank you, Dr. Jackie. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming on. We at Gardener's House are so much happy and so appreciative of you being part of your journey as well as our journey. Gardener's House is an organization, a nonprofit organization that was created to help families who are affected by cancer with basic needs, not just breast cancer, but any type of cancer. We also bridge the gap between the patient and the person, between the medical facility and the regular facilities where you need basic needs. Being a patient, or what I always said, as a two-time breast cancer survivor, the patient get a lot of attention. When we go to the doctor's office, we are a patient, become patient. When we leave there, we become a person. My question was, who's looking after that person? You're still a mom, you're still a dad, you still have to function. And if you're in a situation where you can't work, and let's say you're the breadwinner, especially when it comes to treatment, and you are specifically in the middle class, there is not much assistance out there for you, financial assistance. So, because of my experience with the cancer and resources, and with the cancer and without resources, I decide I have got to do something, especially when it comes to being turned down. And it's like, you're not qualified. Sorry, we can't help you. You didn't fit into that category. They set the bar so high, and the requirements. Sometimes they want to know the color of your eyes, the color of your hair. I was like, what that have to do with anything? especially when you need some food, and not only that, especially when you work and you pay your taxes. And as I said to one person, we didn't go looking for cancer. It came and it found us. So it's not like something we did and now we're being punished by society because we can't afford to pay our mortgage or rent. So I had to do something to save myself and to do my best in whatever capacity God give me, so that I don't want anybody to feel what I felt and to go through that humiliation. When you go looking for assistance, they don't know your story and they look at you as if you're one of those that come in to rip off the system or you're dishonest or something. And the way how they treat you, that is so humiliating until when they get to know you, that you're a real person behind that face or behind a smile. And then they realize there is a legitimate story why you are looking for assistance. So, Gardener's House, we address basic needs. Not only that, our main goal is to bring hope. Because when you don't have hope, you're in big trouble.
Yes.
Even if you have the financial, you're okay financially or whatever, and hope is not there. Because when you're being diagnosed, just the diagnosis alone can really throw you for a loop. And if you don't have, even if you have your faith, you still got to hold on to hope, because she is the one that's going to get you through until when faith can really play her part.
Amen.
So, in a nutshell, that's what Gardener's House is, and that's why it was created. So, for you ladies to give up your time, your story, your love, your energy towards this book, so that resources can go towards helping families. Think about it, that you are helping to save somebody from being homeless. You are
Amen.
helping to keep somebody's light on. You are helping to put food in people's mouth. You won't know them. I'm the one on the front line. But trust me, I can't do this without you. So thank you. Thank you.
And also for our audience too, that will be happy if you could help us too by purchasing a book. We're going to put the link at the bottom of this recording, so then you can also help and bridge that financial gap. And so Gardener's House can continue helping women and men too as well, bridge that financial gap in terms of their finances as they're going through a cancer journey. So to our co-authors, so Maggie's also a co-author, but we also have 4 co-authors here today. And we're gonna, oh, 3. Well, I was counting myself as 4. Well, there was a 4th person, but
Regularly, no.
we're having some technical difficulties right
Actually,
now, but they may pop up in a few. But Dr. Jolie, can you tell us a little bit about, well, to all my co-authors, tell me a little bit. We'll start with Dr. Jolie. Introduce yourself, and what does hope mean to you?
Hi, I am, as Dr. Jackie said, Dr. Jolie, and I live in Houston, Texas, but I lived in Hartford, Connecticut for many years. So I've met Maggie, and I used to go to church with Jackie. And so I'm a professional singer. I'm also an educator, arts educator, and Montessorian. And I am a little bit of an entrepreneur, so I do lots of things. I'm self-employed. And I'm living life that I have life anew is just amazing. So I'm a 10-year breast cancer survivor. Yes, that hope means to me to have something to look forward to when you wake up in the morning.
Amen.
There's something positive, a positive outlook on life, right? And that there is something for your future. And so we need to have hope in order to definitely, get over breast cancer, right? And to be a survivor. Absolutely, you need hope. But we also need hope in our everyday lives.
Yeah.
So everyone needs hope and deserves to have hope.
Amen. 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 Tammy?
Okay, hi. My name is Tammy. I live in Middletown, Connecticut. I was diagnosed last year, 2019, in August. And I just had my surgery, so I'm just starting to go through this experience. Hope. So what hope means to me is just the belief in just having expectations that things are going to work in my favor, because I believe in God. I'm a spiritual person, so I have nothing but hope and expectations that I will get through this.
Amen. Awesome.
Amen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Denise Marie.
Hello, everybody. I'm Denise Marie Stewart. I live in Springfield, Massachusetts,
Hi,
and
Denise.
I've known Dr. Jackie since she was a teen, right out of actually in college.
My first job. That's my first boss.
That's her first boss, and she was always striving for excellence. And there's something special about her then and now. And although she doesn't know the battle that we've had, she's taken on this battle. And so I'm on my second year as a cancer survivor, urethral cancer. After 14 hours of surgery, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Amen.
I just thank God every day for it. And hope is to me is that I continue to get to see the beauty of what God has given me. To be able to reach back and to have Jackie pull this out of me and allow it to. Our story is us, but we need to finish that story. We need to share the story, and it's important for her to make sure that we share our story. Maggie, it's important that we share our story to help you to do what you do, because you're so right. People only, people see the word cancer. And the first thing is, oh, that's too bad. And a lot of times they count us out even before the cancer counts us out. Oh, that's such a shame. And then we don't look like what we are. So Tammy, we don't look like that we're going through, and they're sticking that needle in our arm and with a portal in our chest. And I still have a robe. It took me 50 some odd years to get hair in the back of my head, and I had just grown this wonderful head full of hair. I don't know how I did it. And so I thought I was going to trick cancer. So I had my granddaughter braid my hair back into these plaits. I'm going to trick cancer. I'm going to keep my hair. I don't care what other people say. And then the day came when they just slid off my head.
Yeah.
That was a dark day. That was a really dark day. However, today I have a wig because it would scare you otherwise. I have hair again. And pandemic, no granddaughter to braid it. But we have to have joy. We have to have some humor. We have to be able to have some shiftless days. Jackie knows about those.
Yes, that word shiftless.
Where we're on top of everything and we're writing in our journal, and then we just stop. And we have to be pushed, pulled, or towed forward. And so that's hope. Hope is having a circle too.
Yes.
A circle of ladies who you know, who you just met, and who you already know are going to have some of that push pull along with you.
Yes.
Amen.
So,
amen. So my next question for you ladies, why write? Why do you want to write and share your story? Why is there a need to actually say yes to this call? Because some people said no. So why? So Dr. Jolie, we'll start with you.
When I got my diagnosis, one of the first things I did was get on the phone and start calling my friends who had gone through breast cancer. For me, it was important to acknowledge and hear their stories, to help me know what questions to ask, to help me see that I can get through it. Every story that I heard was inspirational. And then other women who I didn't know that were friends that had breast cancer started sharing their stories with me. And I was shocked.
Mhm.
because I just couldn't imagine that somebody would go through this alone. And being a public figure in Connecticut, it was really a hard decision, but a quick one that I made, that I would not go alone and I wouldn't be quiet about it. Singer, professional singer. I was at the height of my career. I was performing all over the world. I was doing wonderful, and I was self-employed at the time. And as a singer, if I was to tell people that I was sick and not say what it is, the first thing they're going to think is that I have nodes and there's something wrong with me singing, right? And I've done something wrong. And I wanted to not go there, because that could ruin a career. And so I just came out and I said that I had breast cancer. But I can tell you that sharing that story inspired so many other women and men. It helped men deal with their wives that were going through breast cancer and other cancer diagnoses. I had talked with women about what kind of reconstructive surgeries they could go to. I know the hospital that I had gone to and the doctors I had gone to asked me to be an advocate and to help support other women. And I had friends that called. When you talk to my cousin, my sister, my daughter, my mother, you know, who had been diagnosed with breast cancer since. So for the past 10 years, I've been a breast cancer advocate. I try to give every year to the Triple Negative Breast Cancer Foundation, TNBC foundation.com, if you go to the website, and just be there for women and let them know they do not have to go through this alone. I didn't go through it alone. My church, Jackie, you know, the church was there. Friends were there, my family. I had a tremendous support, and I was able to stay positive and to have the faith in God that God would get me through. And I said, God, I don't think that you're through with me yet. 10 years later, I still don't think God is through with me yet. And I am continuing to work and encourage, you know, young people and women to really make sure you get your stuff checked. Go, because my tumor was very small, but it was very powerful, and it was near my chest wall. So if they didn't find it, I was 42. If they didn't find it, then I would probably be gone today. And so they found it in my mammogram, and in my they did an ultrasound. They didn't find it in an ultrasound. So they, you know, and then my doctor was like, no, go ahead and get a biopsy. I did, and it was triple negative. So thank God I'm here. More than 50% of women diagnosed with triple negative don't make it.
That's right. True.
Amen. Amen.
So I'm grateful that I've made it, you know, and I'm healthy, I'm happy, and I'm living life, and I don't have regrets, because when an opportunity comes now, I take it. I don't wait, you know, because I know life is not promised.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Dr. Jolie. Tammy, why write?
Why write? Why share? Because someone shared with me. Basically, the fact that people before me went through this. My cousin Shay, her mother Beatrice, Danielle Thompson. They really did help me, like the doctor said, in asking the right questions, getting the right services, just having a circle of friends that or family members that went through it. And by me sharing my story, I'm hoping that someone will find solace in it. You know, we all go through different stages of pain when you find out and things like that. But just knowing that someone has experienced this, it gives you a different perspective and outlook and hope again that that I too can go through this journey and come out on the other end.
Amen. Triumphant. Thank you. Denise?
Well, why write? because Jackie will pull it out of you. Much like Dr. Jolie, I have lived a very public life here in Springfield, and have been on the radio for 40 years. And it's been a very public life. I can't go very many places without people knowing who I am. I can't speak out loud without people knowing the voice. But there was so much pain in all of this. And the urethral cancer it's a very rare form of cancer. Only 2 other people were known to have it, with the chief of, cancer here. 1 lived, 1 died. And I didn't know that I wanted to, or that I needed to share this. I know that I'm a testimony.
Amen.
But because of all that goes along with it, it's a constant reminder. All cancers are a constant reminder. But I went into the surgery, whole. And I came back out much different. So a lot of the parts of it are still very difficult to even think about, much less write about. The day-to-day everything, because it's something that you wake up with and you go to sleep with. But writing about it, little by little, make sure you have to hold it, look at it. You're forced to hold it, you're forced to look at it. And the deeper you go, the better you'll get.
Amen. 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 I know all of y'all spoke briefly about either a highest or lowest moment. I'm giving you the choice to decide, maybe sharing either one of your highest or one of your lowest moments on this journey. Dr. Jolie or Maggie. Maggie, I've been living. Maggie had an interview already, I read.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dr. Jolie.
Maggie's there every week.
I am actually going to do something I don't usually do. I'm going to share one of my lowest moments. The night before my first chemo treatment, I laid in the bed and I turned my back to my husband at the time, and I just was boohooing and trying to be quiet about it. I didn't want him to know that I was crying, because I had been so positive and so, happy with this mask of, I knew I was going to get through it. I had good faith that I would get through it, but I was scared of that chemo. It's poison.
Yes, it is.
And I laid there and I said, oh my God, tomorrow morning, I'm going to go into this office and have them put a needle in my arm and pump poison that if it falls on the ground, if a drop of it drops on the ground, it will burn a hole through the flooring. And they will put this in my blood, in my body, to kill the cancer that may be lingering, right? Because I had my surgery first, and then I had chemo after my surgery. And I was just scared. And my husband turned over and he looked at me and he was like, are you okay? I was like, and then, the fountain overflowed. And I just admitted for the first time how afraid I was. And it was a healing and cleansing moment, because I needed to recognize that there is fear in this. God, yes, I know God is going to protect me, right? But at the same time, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be afraid. And that was a really, really low moment for me. And I could remember getting up the next morning and just shaking. I was just shaking. I couldn't stop shaking. And then, of course, when they give you the fentanyl, to calm you down, I put the needle in my arm. I was asleep. But yeah, that was a low moment.
Thank you. Thank you. Tammy.
My low moment, I guess, is when I too had the hair situation. I thought I was going to keep my hair forever, and just the transition. So my friend and my daughter, they both cut my hair. I had a lot of lows and a lot of highs. Highs is just the circle of people, the support and the prayers and things like that, and just the visits, like people came with me, my friends. So those are my highs, and just the last day on 120 was my chemo, my last chemo. So that was a high for me. And just being
Amen, amen, amen. Denise, thank you, Tammy.
Well, since I can never do anything one way, I'll do a high and a low together. So the year that I was diagnosed, I had the surgery in August, and wasn't supposed to go back into the doctors until September to find out what was going to be the situation. Not knowing it was cancer, just knowing that it was this growth and that they were going to remove it. Felt fine, you know. So I went to Disney World, as I do every August with my family. And I was said to them, I said, you know, if I ever have to come here in one of those wheelchairs, you leave me home. Okay. So you know God hears you. So in March, after the surgery and after I had recuperated somewhat, the doctor said, your mother could stand some vitamin D. So my oldest daughter, Stephanie, took me to Disney World. And all of the children came from wherever they were, with the exception of my son. And the new baby was there, and I had a bald head. It was bright and shiny bald head. But I enjoyed, and I was uplifted. So that was a real high. But come the time for us to go to Disney World. And I ended up in a wheelchair. And so, of course, I remembered those words. And in remembering those words, we got to the main street. And I just broke down. I just was sobbing it was ridiculous. And so my son-in-law said, Mill, you want to get out of that chair, because he calls me Mill for mother-in-law, M-I-L. And I did. And he's a pastor, and he just held me while I just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. And when I got it all out, he said, do you want to get back in the chair? And I said, yes, I would. I got back in the chair, and we went to breakfast. And then after breakfast, I got back in the wheelchair, and they got on everything they could have possibly got on first because of the wheelchair. So what became the saddest, most horrible day turned into a good day. And again, I can never do anything one way. So up, down. There's been so many lows, but then so many highs. I have had more highs with it than I have had lows with it. And although it was a real testament to the fact that I did a lot of standing and looking at things. Like in my school, I worked for a school, and looking down the hallway and all the children and the teachers and saying, I'll never see this again, because I knew just, what the doctor told me, what the, prognosis was. And I would do a lot of that kind of stuff. I'll never see this again. I'll never see this person again. I'll never do this, but the joy in it is that God flips it around, and I get to do all those things and see all those things. And although I'm not the same, I know I'm not the same. God gave me such a testimony, and I am a living testimony. So there are lows, but there have been highs.
Amen. 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 And for those who are watching us right now, this is the Life Changes Institute, and we are actually launching the book, Hope, A Journey to Triumph. It's a compilation of 20 stories of individuals who've gone through cancer, who are sharing their stories of hope, courage, and resiliency. Also, this book is also going to be a fundraiser for Gardener's House. Gardener's House is located in Hartford, Connecticut. and it's a company, an organization, a nonprofit organization that helps and provides economic support for individuals who are going through cancer. So we'd like you to be part of this journey with us. We would like you to help through our fundraising process, to be blessed by the stories from this book, purchase a book, as well as help Gardener's House on their journey of making a difference in the lives of individuals and families who are going through cancer. And as we wrap up, ladies, what is that one word of wisdom? Maggie, you could be part of our conversation as well. What is that one word of wisdom? Maggie, you go last in terms of talking about Gardener's House. What is that word of wisdom you would like to share and give to someone who's just been diagnosed or someone who's going through a very, very low point at this time? Dr. Jolie, you're always first.
Oh, well, I think my biggest encouragement to people is to be your own best healthcare advocate. Doctors see patients coming in and out of their office all day, all week, all year with similar issues to your issue. But your issue is different. I know my issue was different. I had certain things that were important to me to know, to understand. And so I wanted to make sure that my doctors looked at me as an individual and not as, one of many people. And this is just what we do, people like you. No, this is my family. This is my livelihood, and all of the things that I do, are a part of how my treatment should be looked at. And so you have to know that your doctors are listening to you, that they are hearing you, and that they are seeing you as an individual. So if you don't think your doctor's giving you information, you're not sure, go online and look. You see something scary, go to another page. But you need to do the research. You need to talk to other women and men who have gone through diagnoses and have survived, because their stories will be invaluable to you and in giving you thoughts about things that you can do or you should do, you shouldn't do. And just make sure you have the best doctors who are going to meet your need. I went to a doctor who a friend of mine went to, didn't work for me. So I found another doctor. And when that doctor didn't work anymore, I went and interviewed different doctors before I finally chose the doctors that I wanted to do my reconstruction surgery. It had took me 2 years of surgeries to get reconstruction done. And I didn't think reconstruction was going to be important to me. When I looked and saw what my chest looked like with nothing on it, it became something important to me. And we laughed because we've been there, but double mastectomy is a whole different, ball game. And so there were things that I didn't expect I would respond in a way, I didn't expect that I would respond in the way that I did to some of the experiences that I had to go through. And so be your own best healthcare advocate. Yeah.
Amen. Thank you. Tammy?
Yes, everything the doctor just said. At the same time, if you have just been diagnosed, breathe. You're going to go through different stages, different levels of understanding, and the doctors and all this information is going to come to you. You're going to feel numb, and half the things you hear and half the things you don't hear. But pray and meditate. And like she said, you have to be your own advocate. So once sometimes you have to put it on a back burner, like your pain and stuff, so that you can tune in to what the doctors are saying. And if they're not good for you, like she said, find someone else. I did. Yeah, and I'm happy for it. I'm a better person. My doctor, Dr. Riz, she really did. She made me feel empowered, like I was in control, and the first one did not. And that does make a difference in the progression of your healing. process.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Absolutely.
Amen. Denise?
And find a song. Find a song. Let that song lead you. Hear that song. Let it speak to your heart. Let it pull you up when you get really low. And if one song doesn't help, get a couple. But find a song and keep it in your heart.
Yes. Denise, I have a recording that I did after, in 2013, I released Rock of Ages, Hymns for the Soul. And that was all about my cancer journey. I sang hymns every day. Hymns.
You must make sure you send it so we can play it on the radio.
All right.
For sure.
Will, yeah.
Because I'm sure we'll be online again with Dr. Jackie, but
yes, we'll connect. We'll set up the connection.
For sure.
You never know what doors God open. Amen.
Okay.
We have Michelina. How are you? Can you hear us? No, she can't.
Connection keep dropping.
Maggie.
Yeah. It is so good to sit and listen to other people's story, because when you tell your story, you're talking about me, and sometimes it's a good feeling living those memories. Other times it's a bit painful. And one of the things that I wanted to share when it comes to being at a low point is some people have nice smiles, some have nice eyes, some people have nice bum, some have nice legs. But for me, it was breasts. I love breasts. So when I had the first time I was diagnosed, and Dr. Christie he couldn't find the cancer because the mammogram didn't show, the ultrasound didn't show. I had to monitor it myself until we find where exactly on the breast it was coming from. So he did 3 surgeries back to back. So I had a half of my breast taken off. And everybody like, oh, why don't you take off the whole thing? I said, are you crazy? So when I had no other choice, when the cancer came back under my arm, which is 3 o'clock, because it was 9 o'clock, and then that was 3, Dr. Christie said, there is nothing left. So I said, well, can you save the nipple? And he's like, nothing left, So I was trying to hold on to it. And one of the things that made me feel so sad is when I look in the mirror, the devil was up in my head and telling me I look like a misfit, And then I started feeling that way. Even sometime now, I have to be careful. I had reconstruction. Actually, this is the 3rd implant. I said, I've been trading them like cars. I had a saline, I had a silicone, and now I have the gummy, And somebody said, why don't you just leave it alone and take it? No, that is my way of surviving.
That's right.
I said, I like breasts. I get lopsided, but I do what I have to do. So that was one of my low points, when I look at myself and I see the scar and I see, it's not looking like the one God made. These feelings come into your head and you start feeling self-esteem start going down. But then you look at it and then you realize, okay, it's more perkier than the other one. So it's like gravity pulling down the real one. So you look in the mirror and it starts to feel, okay, this one ain't going nowhere. So sometimes you need just one of those stick-on bra for one and you pull it out. The other one ain't going nowhere. So, when you put on your clothes, you got the cleavage and stuff.
Cracking up.
Yeah, so that is how I pull myself through, and nobody knows, because when you go out and they look at you, it's like, wow, but only God knows. So I am grateful to be here, and I always say I believe in destiny. We always supposed to be here tonight together, and God destined for us to be here. And I am so grateful. Dr. Jackie, you are the instrument that bring us all together.
Amen.
We probably have seen each other somewhere, but wasn't conscious of who we are. But as I said, nothing happened before the time.
That's right.
And God have placed you guys in my life, in Gardener's House life, for a reason. Anytime you feel down or you feel like the odds are against you, just think about us. Think about Gardener's Health. When I started it, I had no clue what I was doing, but I believe in God. Even when I was sending in the application to the IRS for the 501c3, a lot of people said to me, "You'll never get it." But that was the one time I remember in my entire life I had 100% faith, because I know, I say, God, there has to be another way. People shouldn't be suffering and nobody looking after them. And every time I prayed, I put the sheet or the letter, each page in the envelope, I say a prayer and I sent it off. And 6 months it came back. And up until today, we are moving along. Even to today, I am working with a family that needed 2 months security, which is like $2,300. We don't have it in Gardener's House, but what I'm doing, I'm working with them, with other organizations like the Larrabee, and I'm speaking to the landlord. So it's not only just taking the money and pay a bill. These other things that you have to intercede on their behalf, and you have to give your word to the landlord that you're going to follow through. And because of that, they will be able to get into an apartment because they're homeless. And so it's so much. So when you make your sacrifice on our behalf, as I said, you're right there behind me. You're pushing me because I can't do it alone. And not only that, I know that you guys are praying for me, and God, I always say when things are good, send up a lot of prayers, because while I was going through the cancer, there are days when I couldn't pray because I didn't even know what to say. So I said, when things are good, send up a whole lot of prayers. And God, He is so faithful. He is so kind to me. Otherwise I would have been dead. I would have been dead because I had nobody there helping me. I had friends now and again, but I had to go through this journey all alone. And even one time, as I said last week, where the devil used to try and tell me that God has forgotten me. He said that to me. I hear it as loud as ever. But I said, oh no, don't even go there. He's not going to bring me this far to leave me. So He spared my life for a reason, and here we are today. So, Dr. Jackie, it's over to you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Lloyd. Ladies, you're such a blessing of hope, especially in this season. We were trying to get this book out since last year, but God knows He wanted this book to be launched in the middle of this season of pandemic. And so your stories are going to bless the lives of many other people out there, especially seeing cancer, just knowing how you'll navigate it through cancer, knowing exactly how you went through that storm. And we're going through another storm, but you'll all have demonstrated resiliency, hope, and courage. And I pray that God is going to continue to expand, give you that gift of abundance of health, abundance of finances, restoration, and healing. And the stories and the effort you put in writing this book the seeds are going to plant on fertile soil, and it's going to come back to you tenfold. So I want to thank you. Thank you for being part of this journey. Thank you for being part of Life Changers. And for our audience, thank you for listening to us. Thank you for being part of the I Am My Story show. This is going to be a monthly show. We're going to meet every Thursday. And for the month of May, we're going to be focusing on mothers. We're going to be asking individuals to write letters to their mothers, and we're going to be interviewing these individuals and their letters. So I will be having a link where you can submit your letters. And if you're interested in being part of this show, if you have a story to tell, reach out to me as well. I Am My Story. Thank you for listening. And if you have additional information or questions, please check out my website at www.drjackiephillips.com. Thank you. Please purchase the book. If you need a copy of the book, you could also go to my website as well. Be blessed, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.